Hi friends and fellow intuitive academics. My name is Shelly and I draw from my intuition and my lived experience as a PhD to bring you guidance on your academic journey as a student or as an early career scholar. I think the messages kind of will point to whatever you're going through in whatever stage of your career, really. But a lot of my personal insights come from just having finished my graduate studies myself as a student on the margins, now as an early career scholar on the margins. And so that's the sort of concentrated, I guess I'll say, messages that I can offer you. So today I wanted to do an open reading from books, our favorite things as academics, right? I was wandering through the library and I found these three books that were kind of drawing me towards them with their messages and their images. And I wanted to make three piles with three different messages for you to choose from today. So again, you might feel strongly that you're being drawn to one message in particular, or you might be drawn to two or three, and we'll also see how the cards unfold, directing you to other messages as well. So let's go through the books. The first is called Radical Joy for Hard Times, Finding Meaning and Making Beauty in Earth's Broken Places. The next is called You Were Born for This, Astrology for Radical Self-Acceptance. And so what we'll do is we'll flip to a random page in the book. I mean random as in I'll be intuitively drawn to a page, and then that will be the message that guides us. And then the last is Dreams, Unlock Inner Wisdom and Discover Meaning and Refocus Your Life. So I will do my best to line up these three books for you so that you can spend some time deciding which will be yours. And looks like I have space. I'll also put in the deck. I'll go ahead and select the card that we'll be using as the central energy for each. So this will be associated with the You Were Born for This, and we're using the Starseed Oracle deck. And for this you have I'm Sorry, Defenselessness, Writing Past Wrongs, Uprooting. For the Dreams, we'll use, let's see, the Cozy Witch Tarot deck to center your message. And for this one you have Four of Swords. Why aren't you resting? Yeah, it goes well with dreaming, right? Unlocking inner wisdom. And then for the last, Radical Joy for Hard Times, we'll go with the Wise Dog Tarot. And your card is Ace of Swords. So take some time to determine which of these three books and or cards really speaks to you. And we'll be meeting again in the pile that you choose. All the three different readings will be listed as different chapters, so you can just skip ahead whenever you're ready. Hi Dreams group. So we're going to start off the reading with this central energy card. It's kind of a beautiful card of rest. You can see like the snowy mountains in the background, a little chihuahua sleeping on this person's lap, hot cocoa. Maybe this person is recovering from an illness. Oh, actually there's a heat pad. So I did read about this card and I'll give you a little background. The situation here is this person is having the worst period cramps, and instead of trying to work through them or ignore them. The message here is to listen to your body, to know when you need rest, and to respond with rest. That's just a natural part of life. It's not a negative or bad personal characteristic. It just is. And learning how to kind of speak the language of your body and respond accordingly is very important. I noticed that this did pop out reversed, and the reversed message was that you pushed yourself until it was too late, and now you're just kind of falling apart health-wise. And so the message would be to get better attuned to your self-care and responding to your needs as they arise. And that sounds kind of like a lot. It sounds very appropriate for end of year energy when especially the semester's ended. It's kind of reached this crescendo of work, right? And then there's more work to come with if you celebrate the holidays this season. It just can be a lot from all fronts. So I think this is a very appropriate card for many of us watching. But then I got a second kind of hint of the message here that this rest was associated with dreams. Unlock inner wisdom, discover meaning, and refocus your life. So you're missing out on some inner wisdom, some insights that deep rest will give you, whether that's in your dreams if you've been dreaming a lot, or just from regaining that sense of wholeness, health that comes from rest. You'll be able to see things in a different light, maybe with more clarity. And then another layer is that dreams can be referring to not the dreams only that you receive at night, maybe messages that come through those dreams, but also your dreams for your life, dreams, hopes and dreams for yourself and for your loved ones, for your community, for your academic journey, however you want to understand that. So all of that is coming into play in different woven layers in this message. So let's go ahead and let me feel out the right page for you. Ooh, so the page that is coming through now, such a big book, hold on. I think that will work, yeah. Is burning houses. So I don't know if this has been happening in some of your dreams. It also reminds me of the Tower card, which is a complete like upheaval, and you just kind of have to learn to weather the storm, and like upheaval in a positive way. Something that needed to end in your life is ending by something outside of your control, and all you really need to do is navigate that for yourself and just kind of let it pass. But let's read some of the interpretations from the dream book of what burning houses means. There's always a terrible sense of danger when we see or hear about burning houses. Was anyone hurt in the fire? Was the house completely gutted? They can also mean danger for those who try to put out the flames. Dreams tend to reflect these elements of risk and courage. Thinking back to your message of rest too, it seems to me that you've been like metaphorically putting out fires for a while and you're just completely drained by now. Let's see. So some of these different interpretations are you are throwing the past into the flames. So you're letting, let's see, a fire is raging in a house opposite you. Run into your own property and look for notebooks hidden in a desk. Your own house is safe, but there are compromising notes you want to take outside and commit to the flames across the road. You find your notebooks and hurl them thankfully into the fire. So it's like you're taking advantage of the fire happening elsewhere to get rid of something from your own past. Action, what do you need to let go of? Did you write about anger in the pages? Anger you suppressed or kept hidden? It's time to release pent-up rage rather than allow it to continue to disturb you. Committing powerful words to the flames is a useful ritual in real life. Interesting. So there's also being a witness. You're watching a house burning. There's also being like the firefighter. You admire the firefighter's bravery. You're kind of just watching from afar and admiring their courage. This one's also like you're watching and you're not really taking action. The house is completely destroyed. A burning house collapses to the ground, completely destroyed by the fire. You watch in horror. No one has been hurt, but the sight is awesome, meaning like spectacular, or like not positive, but like impressive, amazing. What once held boisterous families, pets, and noise is now a heap of ashes, all just with this one change. You wonder what will become of the plot. Action. This is a dream about death and renewal. Accept the need in your life for the new, for radical change. The collapse of the house represents collapse of your own sense of self, but this is a positive move. Your psyche is hinting at new growth that will eventually arise from those ashes. Interesting. So it's almost like it seems like you're noticing something from the past, or something that you're continuing to do that's no longer serving you in the present, and it's ready to become ash. It's ready to burn away from your life. You recognize that you no longer need this, and all you really have to do is like throw your notebook in the flames and walk away, and basically the message is letting go of the past, which sounds more and more opaque the more you say that phrase. Like, how do I actually let go of the past? Maybe without kind of using those words, you can think for yourself of what needs to kind of burn down and become ash in your life that you can walk away from comfortably. So I'll just put this maybe a bit to the side, see if that's okay. And then we'll gather some cards for more messaging here. Let's put this there. Okay, so following up on this pile's reading, centralizing the Four of Swords and burning houses and dreams, what are some additional messages to bring to this pile? Okay, so you have Temperance, which is balance, which is a beautiful message to receive with this Rest card. The Wheel of Fortune, which just echoes what we just read in the burning houses. It's the end of a cycle, but also time for you to end the cycle by taking action. And the action here just seems to be caring for yourself, to be resting. The Three of Pentacles reversed. This to me is saying like taking a pause in work. And the Ace of Pentacles. This is like a renewal, restart. For me, instead of start, I'm hearing the word restart of work. Possibly after the rest, after the balance in your body and your energy in your mind is restored, restarting the work afresh. It'll almost feel like a completely new beginning, even if it's not new work. And then the Five of Wands, this is kind of like a sticky situation, like an impasse, kind of being locked into too many ideas. I don't get the sense really that this is multiple people. It's like you kind of reaching an impasse within your own mind. This is kind of the situation you're dealing with now. And you're depleted. Your Strength card is reversed. You're super tired, in a word. And you need to just, I think this is just kind of reiterating everything, giving a little bit of backstory, but there's so many messages here about you're at a stalling point. You're with these two, you're not going forward. You really need to balance yourself. So you see the temperance cup is like balancing the cups. You're not pouring only into that one cup forever. You need to pour back into yourself, and then your strength will return. And I'm getting the sense, because of the reversal, that this means inner strength for you, which is your inner strength is depleted. It's emanating outward and affecting your physical strength as well. There's such a connection there. Like, think of what in your life has a direct connection. This is so true for academics and students, that we're able to like hold off getting sick, right until the finals week, and then everyone gets sick. I mean, there's been so many cases of COVID where I am at in the last, say, month of the semester, and I just started wearing my mask again because everyone's depleted, everyone's immune system's down, their defenses are down. Oh, this might be like your defenses are not able to work. Yeah, because I'm going this direction, I keep seeing the word immunology. I don't know if you study that or if it's talking about your own immune system, but there's a real concern with the cycle that's happening with you burning yourself out and running down your immune system. And it's sounding to me that it's a little bit more than just, burnout that we kind of push through. It's like it's really affecting you, possibly in a long-term way. This does happen to graduate students. I've known people, including myself, who have gone through like hormonal transitions as we age, but also with the stresses and the overwork that students coming in to academia from the margins will like overwork themselves. And there's actually been a lot of really heavy physical consequences to that I've witnessed during my whole 7.5 years in grad school. So I've got a long observation period of that. There's been a lot of talk during my time in grad school about like the mental well-being of students, right? And it's kind of focused on that immediate time of when we're graduate students, and graduate students tend to take a very hard hit in their mental well-being. But there's not a lot of talk yet about how that manifests into physical well-being. But like, I just know in my soul, and I've witnessed it for my years, I've experienced it as well, that this is real, that the mental and emotional imbalance, the stress, and having to balance so much more as someone from the academic margins, it just really runs you down to the point where a long-term physical condition can develop. But this is really preventable. This is something that you can consult with your doctor, you can read up on your own. I want to also add another message for women, specifically in women's health. A lot of our needs are not kind of taught to us. I'll just give a personal example. I was concerned that I had developed PCOS, which is a hormone kind of situation that affects fertility, and I'm kind of like on the borderline. I don't actually have a diagnosis, but this is like something in women's health that's actually so common, and I never heard about it until I started trying to conceive. So I feel like a similar situation for you. You might look specifically into women's health and hormonal balance, especially since we have temperance. I want to really say hormonal balance and the immune system, the defenses. It's not working. Yeah. And this has a direct connection to your work life because you keep reaching burnout. It's a vicious cycle, is kind of what I want to say. It's like you keep burning yourself out and you keep making this situation worse, and then that makes it harder for you to work, and you burn out easier, like you have a shorter fuse each time. So this basically is not sustainable. And if you have an inkling, and I think you already do, you've gotten clear signs that you're ignoring, that you need help, yeah, just prioritize that. All it takes is prioritizing that. You don't have to solve this in a day. You just have to say, like, okay, this paper will not be my priority for the next month. It will still be on the list. It'll be number 2, but you are coming first. Your health. If it's hard for you to like make your emotional well-being first, if that's something that's hard for you to kind of confront and work on, hard as in kind of like maybe you're not ready for to meet some of this these thoughts or this information, all of that can happen in good time. Then it's sometimes easier to focus on your physical health and start caring for yourself that way first. Yeah. And then coming back to the idea of dreams, that rest is going to like open up your vision. It's going to actually, you feel like you can't invest time in yourself and your self-care, but that's actually what's going to make your academic process much more efficient. That's a hard one to learn. I had to learn that one myself. I honestly am still learning it. I'm even having a hard time taking a vacation right now. But it's like, like all I can say is that's the message, and start wherever you're at, meet yourself where you're at, not too much pressure, and you can get there step by step. Yeah, so we have one more opening here, so I kind of want to add up another card and see if that's helpful for you before we end the reading. So I have the Sacred Cycle card. I feel like this can give some good guidance in terms of balance. Waning gibbous moon. So let me read about that. I am ready to let go. Wow, really kind of closes out with the burning houses message and everything else. So let's think about what you can let go of from the past, but also from something that's detrimental to your health. The waning gibbous moon calls you to begin the process of letting go. The vision that you are calling in for your soul's next iteration of growth is so expansive that space must be made for it. So something has to burn down rightfully, naturally, so that the next thing can arise. It's not a bad thing to let houses burn sometimes, houses from the past. Creating that space begins with releasing. You may have old habits based on outdated patterns, beliefs, or ways of being. Often these habits have served you even if their sole purpose was to keep you feeling safe. So something that kept you feeling safe before is not serving you anymore. This can be something like emotional eating, like at the time that's all that was available to you. Like you weren't in a secure situation, so food always made you feel safe. But now that situation is no more, and you do have safety that you've cultivated for yourself in your life, but you're still coming back to food as your safety. And so that's an example of something that can like kind of burn away and be let go of, because it's not needed anymore. It's been undoubtedly essential to your journey, yes. The invitation now is to thank them for their service and send them on their way. If you are unsure about what needs to be released, your inner voice will tell you. So connect into yourself and just listen to yourself. Kind of like here, just give yourself the quiet you need to listen to yourself, maybe in your dreams. You can begin this process by simply getting quiet and asking yourself what you are ready to let go of. Just like the waning gibbous moon, you are headed toward a time of inward contemplation to help call in further clarity. Yes, clarity is something we mentioned before. Clarity will result from your positive actions for yourself. So if you want to journal, you can think about what pattern, relationship, belief, or habit can I release to make space for my evolution. So this is interesting. I didn't really think about this, but it could be a relationship or a belief too that's kind of detrimental to your health. So interpret that however you see fit for your own situation. And that is your open book message for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Please hit the like button if this resonated with you, and subscribe. I would love to see you back again for more guidance. I do regular readings. And if you feel compelled to share your experience in the comments, please do so. I'd love to hear how you're growing and how you're doing as you continue to care for yourself. And just remember that will affect everyone around you as well, and your work. So it's only good things that can come from this. So with that, I am wishing you a lot of light and hoping that you do continue to work with love, my fellow intuitive academic, and I'll see you in the next time. Hello, so this is the You Were Born for This group, Astrology for Radical Self-Acceptance, and a really interesting, also purple card came up with this group called I'm Sorry, Defenselessness, Writing Past Wrongs, Uprooting. And I was reading about the author's intentions of this card, and it's so kind of specific. And I think the story goes so well together, the way they wrote it, that I want to read the whole thing for you so you can incorporate that into your message. So, another, if you heard something, that's the cat I'm cat sitting for right now. And this cat was crying right before I started recording, feeling maybe lonely. She wanted to get inside here. So I don't know if that's significant to any of you. I don't normally let cats inside my office area. So yes, there is a friendly, robust cat as part of this message as well. So I'm sorry. We're living in divisive times. When we're hurt and triggered, we tend to see things as a personal attack rather than an opportunity for healing. If we're to find true peace and unity, we need to drop our defenses and see things outside of right and wrong. As souls, we intrinsically remember unity and yearn for it here on earth. Perhaps this is why it feels so painful when we experience the opposite. But it's crucial to remember that we can't simply bypass reality and pretend that unity, love, and forgiveness are here. This is one of the greatest challenges for starseeds. To bring about unity, we must first acknowledge the ways in which both we and the world have been divisive, personally, ancestrally, and collectively. The shadows, hate, wounds, separation, severing, wrongs, and sadness. You may be called to explore how you, your ancestors, or your society have, consciously or unconsciously, inflicted pain on others. To find a way to drop the armor around your heart and see things as they truly are for all people. To say, I'm sorry with an open heart and mean it, to be part of the healing rather than the perpetuation of inherited conflict or oppression. This isn't about blame, it's about unwinding the patterning that got us here. I just want to re-emphasize that sentence because it stood out to me like it was highlighted. This isn't about blame, it's about unwinding the patterning that got us here. You may be called to devote your time to causes you believe in or doing healing work on your ancestral line. So, something to reflect on: how are you being called to drop your defenses and unwind past wrongs? So, I think that is a really kind of heavy and intense energy to start us out with, but I feel like you're here kind of wanting to start the new year with some deep like healing and upheaval. There's just something that's like a thorn stuck in your skin that you're ready to get out and start healing, and I think that's why you're drawn to this pile today. So let's continue. I'm just feeling intuitively what page to turn to, and so I felt this one, Saturn. Saturn can create stiffness, heaviness, and lethargy in the body or in the emotional system. So stiffness in your physical or emotional system. Depression is a common side effect of a difficult Saturn moon aspect. The parent or caregiver of a person with this aspect may have been overly burdened or unable to give nourishment. Oh, interesting. So coming back to this card, it looks like there is a link to your ancestral line and how you're kind of experiencing your life and how you're able to nourish others as well. You can work with this aspect by being disciplined and finding ways to be kind and compassionate with yourself. Okay, so Saturn, if you want to like look up or look into it a bit. I know Saturn, I'm not too familiar with the planets and astrology, but I do know Saturn is one of those like heavier essential energies for like doing these big shifts, really important kind of work internally that reflects outward. So that might be something that you might look into. And I'm thinking also, if you're the age of maybe in your late 20s, you might be experiencing something called a Saturn return, which is very intense, and it's asking you to do some deep kind of work for, I think it runs about 2 to 3 years. So you might want to read up about Saturn return, and if that's something you're going through right now, that might figure into your whole message. Okay, so let's put that off to the side for a second, and I'll get your cards. Okay, so let's get some tarot cards, messages for this group that is turning to astrology, dealing with something in Saturn, and looking to bring about apologies and forgiveness, healing and undoing patterns that they were born into, uprooting, righting past wrongs, kind of a balance happening between that. So you have the Hangman in reverse as the first energy, and this is actually very beautiful. It's kind of like the Hangman energy is like a pause and seeing from another perspective. I've heard it described as a cocoon, where you're, or a chrysalis, where you're kind of metamorphizing, transforming. Because it's in reverse, it's kind of like you're all in, and like you're going with the flow with this, and you're like seeing the other perspective very fluidly, very easily, and it's coming naturally to you. It's kind of like the timing is right, like you're ready for this transformation. It's all making sense to you. You're seeing like all the next steps, but you're still kind of you're seeing the path ahead, but you're still kind of just waiting and observing for the right timing before doing any sort of action. The Knight of Wands is kind of a similar message because it's reversed. It's kind of like holding back on action, but you have something to do with like a manifesting or a creative idea that you want to put forward. And I see this as this will be your plan ahead. You will charge forward with bravery, with heart and soul, because this kind of work does take a lot of bravery, but it's so beautiful when it materializes, when it manifests. But for now, it's a plan that's being drawn and it's not being acted upon yet, intentionally so. You have the Four of Pentacles also in reverse, and this is a message of a bit about resources, and it could be like finances. And it's like in the upright position, you're holding on. It's like you're saving, but in the reverse, it's kind of asking you to like invest in yourself or invest in something you care about. So it could be like in donating your time, possibly, because that message came up in this card, to something you care about. So volunteering could be on the table. King of Swords reverse. So this is an energy of truth and clarity, balanced judgment, and enacting that. And this is kind of, because it's reversed, it's kind of like forestalled or blocked. And I'm wondering, because it's looking at the Knight, if they're working together. Like this is part of the plan. There might be someone, like an older kind of mentor that you look to guide you on this plan you have, for taking like healing, altruistic action. But I'm gonna wait a little bit more on that one. And you next have the Six of Pentacles. So yes, this is very much, I'm seeing a connection here, what I said before about investing your time in the right places. This is like a generosity card. You could see the scales of justice here, the balance in the finances, and giving the excess, like still being balanced, but giving to people that you can help. Yeah. And there is a crown, so there's kind of like the court energy in the Six of Pentacles is there too. So like emanating from the court cards, that kind of energy, because it's giving me the clue that possibly this King of Swords reversed is you. You might like consider yourself of a certain like mature age, and you're ready to give back. You're at this stage of life where you're ready to give back. So yeah, the Saturn return, if you're an older grad student or a scholar, Saturn return happens periodically through life. So it happens when you're 28. I think it can also happen, I'm forgetting the ages, but you might want to look that up. It's like more midlife and more later life as well. So that could be a part of your message. And then last, you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a beautiful outcome. This is a very nurturing card. Nurturance came up in the message here. And I would say that you've become successful at nurturing, at growing these seeds of hope and light that you've intended to. And like, see, both the figures here are holding the pentacles in like a very balanced kind of like offering, whereas the person here is holding the pentacles in like a protective way. You're reversing this. It's almost like a Scrooge story. I wouldn't say it's that extreme, the Christmas Carol, but it's kind of like, yeah, the oh my gosh, what's his name from the Christmas Carol? Scrooge. He's holding on to all this like money, right? He's unhappy, but like there's something in his past that kind of led him to this point of bitterness. And by the end of the story, the lesson is to reverse that, to find your own happiness as well, and to spread joy all around you. It's like happiness is intrinsic with your own happiness is tied to the happiness of the people around you, and you have a direct connection with that. You have a direct effect on how that can play out. Yeah, so this is very deep. Whatever you have planned in terms of, like, say, working for an NGO or volunteering, I want to say it this way, like, it's not just for your CV. Like, there's something very deep at play. Like, this is a very meaningful work to you. And the message here through the books and the cards is that this is a very positive part of your path. It's something that redirects you into a very healing direction for yourself and for others around you. And I'm feeling that very deeply right now. My voice feels heavy and there's tears in my eyes, and like it's very like a cleansing kind of cry coming on. It's a releasing kind of cry too. So like it's almost like this is your salvation that you created for yourself. Like it's finally clicking together. You see this so clearly. You were kind of like I want to say, like, I see kind of like the image of, like, you know, scrambling and like applying to a bunch of programs, like not having direction, just trying to feel meaning in your life through possibly like through school and achievement. But you're at a point where that's changing and you're realizing, like, yes, there is meaning in your life, but you're slightly off to the side of the path. Academia is part of it, but there's this like charity, volunteering, nonprofit thing that you've got going on, this plan that's in the works, that's not happening yet, but will happen down the line. That will come to a great fruition. I really see here, like, this whole card, I'm really just drawn to, she's looking at the seeds that have grown. You will be planting seeds of hope. And I see this as like the younger generation, the bunny, will be enjoying, will be protected, and will be thriving in what you've planted. Yeah, so all I can say is just like kudos to you for like persevering through this difficult period, and you're on the right path. It's going to be a beautiful result. So just keep that faith for now, and even though you're in like that metamorphosis, the cocoon stage, just acknowledge that's where you're at. You don't need to push forward or anything, and things will develop in their own time. Let's see. There was one more card I wanted to bring into the mix. Oh yeah. One of our woodland wardens. So let's see, what's one kind of like final message we can bring out for this group. Oh my gosh, I briefly saw this as I was putting it into the pile, and I was just thinking like, oh, I hope we get this card. And I don't know why. I have to read. Oh, but it says hope. Yeah, so hope. I've made a point to say hope. Seeds of hope here. That's really what's happening in your work. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The academic part is tied in here, but it's not the main focus. It's like it gives you the oomph, it gives you the credentials or the legitimacy, but also the different perspective. But I want to say you might not be destined for a career in academia, whether that's good news to you or not. It's more of this this vision you have for like a nonprofit or something, volunteering kind of work. That's the main focus here, and hope is the main purpose that you're here for. yeah, this is tying together so beautifully. Um, so just wishing you all the best with that, because this is so beautiful, and I feel deeply that you already kind of have faith in this yourself, but it just helps to see it on the cards like this. And sending you so much light as always on your journey, and hoping that you continue to work with love in everything you do, whether it's in the institution or out. And please like if this resonated with you. Please feel free to share your reflections or maybe a question in the comments. And I would love if you subscribed, because I offer regular guidance, and I would definitely love to see you back here again. Take care until then. Hi, I just came back. I just had the memory that I recorded a message about unity in my previous posting, the message about winter solstice and welcoming in peace, love, light, and unity. This winter solstice, you might want to check out that video, specifically the unity message, which is the last message. I feel like that has a meaning for you in the message that came through right now. Okay, take care. Hi group, so you were drawn to the Radical Joy for Hard Times book, and this Ace of Swords puppy here. So I just got this Tarot of the Wise Dogs deck, and so I'm so excited to be using it for the first time here. So the Ace of Swords is a kind of like a new idea is like dawning in your life, your new source of clarity, a new sense of clarity or truth is coming to you, is being offered to you, as it kind of looks like in this puppy. It looks like he found something in the yard and he brought it to you. And there's something there about like a message or honesty, truth, ideas coming to you from elsewhere. I want to say like from your guides, because I'm seeing the eye here. It's almost like he's on the clouds too. So that's kind of the central energy that's already coming into your reading. And so I want to also make this look kind of more of an open book reading. So I'm going to use my intuition to guide me to the right page. Here we can find additional message. And I'm being drawn to this title, Art After the Apocalypse. I'm going to read a bit of this. After a tornado tore a 7-mile swath across Tuscaloosa, Alabama, in the spring of 2011, Jean Mills conceived an unusual project to help the people of the city recover. She sought not blankets or clean water, but art. Oh, this is so interesting. So you have here a person conceiving of an unusual project that arose out of a difficult situation, a disaster. And as I was talking about like a new idea coming into you, this could be a new idea that has come to you because of the specific circumstances that you're kind of arising out of. As the book has given us a clue, Radical Joy for Hard Times, you are coming from some hard times, but you're learning to cultivate joy for yourself and others, and you will be receiving. I feel like this hasn't happened yet. It's to come very soon. You're receiving an idea of how to do that, and it could be art. It could be an art project that helps people heal. You know, I actually have studied about disaster, and we do see this theme of people, of help being conceived of as, you know, food, water, the essentials, blankets, medicine, but there are the human aspects of help, of like living through a disaster, that get neglected. And it's going to be like you see that and you know how to help that, how to address that. There's a few other sentences I'm being drawn to, so I'm going to read them as well. There is another reason to give a gift to a place, and that is out of compassion. Gratitude is hard to come by in a neighborhood flattened by a tornado. A factory farm where animals suffer because their lives have no more value than raw minerals to be mined and processed for consumption. In this case, the gift is not an expression of gratitude for bounty received, but, as Lewis Hyde writes, one that moves from plenty to emptiness. One that moves from plenty to emptiness. It seeks the barren, the arid, the stuck, the poor. As my dawning awareness of the intricate and constantly changing essence of a place emboldens me to sit there with curiosity and patience, so this deepening sense of compassion pierces me with a yearning to make things better. I wish to stanch, if I can't actually heal, the wound in some way that is more direct than gazing or even touching allows. Well, I just want to read one more sentence. And one gift I can give to this warrior of a place is a little beauty I make right then and there on the spot. So interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to put this off to the side, but I am getting the sense that, yeah, this might be something that, there's like a temporariness to this, like a transitoriness to this idea. And it's a little bit abstract, like art might be. Oh, so interesting. So I don't know. I want to keep reading the tarot cards because it feels like a really interesting message coming through. And then of course we're going to link it back to your academic journey as well. I don't know, maybe if you study art or if you're like in the humanities or you kind of turn to the humanities interdisciplinarily to influence your work, there's really something there. If you feel like you have a hunch there's something there, you're right. Yeah, there's really something there. This one's popping out. So let's get more clarity on this message for you. So you have the Justice reverse. So I feel like you're noticing there's inequalities. There's an issue with justice in some field of your focus, either from your own personal experiences or something you discovered from your studies that you can't get your mind off of. You're really thinking about it. You see the sword here. The sword, the idea that's being offered to you has to do with this inequality, this injustice, I'll say. And you have the Four of Wands reversed. So this is like, in the upright, it's a celebration. But in the reverse, I want to say something that should be celebrated is actually very sad. Oh, no, okay. It's like celebration plus sadness. So to me, I'm interpreting this message as a commemoration, like if there was a disaster, there's an annual commemoration, a remembrance. So that timing is kind of important here to whatever happened. Six of Pentacles is like aid, assistance didn't come through the way it should have. You see the justice scales here again. The aid happened either unequally or this was part of the injustice, that aid didn't really come. I'm thinking, I know Hurricane Katrina is like one of the older of these series of disasters we've been having. I am American, so when I say we, I mean in the U.S. But I am thinking very clearly of Hurricane Katrina as the example here, where we see disaster, inequality happening with disaster, injustice happening. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, the care that was supposed to come was withheld. And I see this as the state, the government. Sticking with the Katrina example. Two of Cups reversed. Partnerships also failed or are troubled. There's a disharmony here. Division. Yeah. So earlier, before we started the tarot, when we were reading the book, I had the idea that you might want to check out pile 2. And now I feel it more strongly with this, with the word divisive coming through that did come in that pile. Yeah, I think there is a message for you there as well. And then 3 of Cups is collaboration, community, working together to uplift each other. You see how the 3 figures are being lifted off the ground? They're filling each other's cups. Yeah, so most of these cards are the background. This one is the direction forward, the outcome. So like I was saying, there's something, it could be like a disaster, something that has a specific date, that has a commemoration date, something like, you know, 9/11 or Hurricane Katrina, but it's not limited to that. It could be like, you know, like these mass shootings that we've been having. It could be a war. There's a lot going on in our world, and you're very much concerned with injustice and the imbalance of that happening in however you're seeing that in front of you. And the divisiveness is, you do see that this is the block. Yeah, and you want to get to this point of collaboration, but you don't see how yet. And that is part of the message, because as we said, this idea, this clarity will drop in on you. It will be given to you from your guides at the right timing. But for now, as we saw in the book, keep radical joy in your heart through these hard times. It's like you're priming yourself to receive this message, because it's going to be a little avant-garde. You're going to need like an artistic heart to understand this idea and to kind of like translate it as you put it into place. I feel like I want to get a little bit more information on what the idea might look like, some hints, although it will definitely come to you. You don't need to worry about that, but it's always kind of nice if we're allowed to see ahead what that might look like. Can we have a little more information on what that idea coming ahead? But you can also let us know if we're not meant to see that yet. Okay. So will this fit? I think I need to move it up a bit. Okay. So you have the 8 of Swords reverse. So the veil is coming off. This answer is kind of around you, but you're not prepared. You're not primed yet to see it. The veil has to come off first. Maybe your self-limiting beliefs have to come off, but I feel that it's like kind of like the horse blinders that are put on you from like disciplinary, I mean like the perspective that you're kind of indoctrinated into in your specific discipline is kind of making you blind to this possibility. So like a extreme example, say you're in like chemistry, you're studying chemistry, but you have this idea of how to bring about social justice in a disaster scenario. Like your chemistry degree isn't going to teach you that per se. It's going to give you like the material knowledge for the chemistry part of it, but you kind of need to look else. Like you're going to be receiving information elsewhere, um, to put the piece together with the social justice part of it, like how to enact that. So it's almost like maybe you're considering taking up a minor, or like getting the certificate on the side about disaster inequality. Um, that's the priming that the cards are saying that that is happening first before you can really see what the outcome is. I'll get to more. So the Sun reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. Okay. I'll start with the Knight of Wands reversed. I see something with the Sun reversed. I don't know how to formulate into words yet. The Knight of Wands reversed is the Knight of Wands upright is like manifesting this idea, putting into action, but this is kind of like you're holding off on it. It's like the horses are still in the oh my gosh, what do you call those, like their little houses. The horses are still there, but they're ready to go when all the pieces are in place. The Sun reverse is like it feels like location to me. Okay, a place that's hot and that's affected by climate change. Like climate change is part of this somehow. So yeah, if you're in the sciences and you're concerned about climate change, and it's kind of like you need to fill out the perspective on like the social studies side of things, the humanities side, like and combine it with your science perspective, like that makes perfect sense. Like the climate change example, and where you would need the two views to understand how everything comes together. And yeah, that's coming to you. So if you have an inkling of like you want to do this wacky thing where you want to take an art class, even though you should be focusing on your chemistry degree, go with it, because that's in your head for a reason. If it's there already, or if it's not there yet, as we said, this is coming. What's coming could be the idea. It could also be like you see the right course that's the fit for you, where you set off on this journey of knowledge and studying. That could be it too, where maybe like say I'm feeling January, if not early February, you see like, oh, this is the right course. That's where this whole journey kind of like sets off. That's where the blinds will come off. That's when the Knight of Wands will be set in motion. And I feel like it could be online, so you don't have to uproot, but there's something to do with a hot location here as well. Kind of cool reading. I want to bring you one more message, and we'll get a Woodland Warden's message, since we're keeping with the animals. And also, wow, I totally forgot, but yeah, the subtitle is Finding Meaning and Making Beauty in Earth's Broken Places. So you may very well be working with climate change in some way. Earth as much as animals, as much as humans. So your message here is loyalty, the Hound and Pair. So cool. Like we have another dog. This is like one of the few dogs in this card. I want to read about this actually, because I don't think I've ever drawn this one before. So the hound is the ultimate symbol of loyalty and friendship. Stories abound in folklore and throughout history of dogs protecting their companions, saving children, and alerting their masters to danger. The legend of Saint Guinefort is one such story. The 13th century French greyhound saved his owner's infant son from an attack by a viper. When the owner came upon the scene, he found Guinefort with bloody jaws sitting beside the empty cradle. Believing the hound to be the murderer, the owner killed Guinefort. Oh no! Only later, when he heard his son's cries and discovered him beneath the cradle next to the dead snake, did he realize his tragic mistake. Like the faithful hound, the pair is a symbol of care and affection, often given as a gift. It is sweet but easily bruised, requiring tenderness from its handler. Oh, that's so sad. So there's something here about poetic justice too in the owner kind of misunderstanding that the dog was actually being loyal to the end, risking his life first for the babies and then sacrificing his life in the misunderstanding. So upright, a friendship is flourishing. Your kindness and loyalty have been noted and your friend appreciates you. I did pull this in the reverse, so I'm going to read this for if it has meaning for anyone. You may be harshly or irrationally judging those closest to you. While you might feel undeserving of kindness or friendship, this life is too difficult to face alone. Accept companionship and avoid lashing out at those who care for you. Am I loyal to my friends? How can I improve my friendships so that my companions feel loved and appreciated? Interesting. So that feels a little bit like distinct from the other messages that I've been bringing through, but since this is the dog, from the dog tarot, and it's all those themes are all about like companionship and loyalty and kind of learning through the eyes of the dog. I was reading this the other day in the introduction. The wise dog draws out the wisdom that dogs offer to each and every one of us unconditionally. With their patience, determination, and true love, they teach us how to tap into our spirit, our internal guard system, and how to speak our truth without fear. They teach us how to embrace pure joy, radical joy, pure joy, and how to let our emotions create the restorative power of bliss. But most of all, they teach us how to sit in the moment, how to live in the here and now. Yeah, that also came up in this book, that transitoriness, the temporariness of being present, being in the moment. It's kind of like if this is about climate change, it's like you're meeting the historical moment, like that timing is really important. Also paying attention to how things change through time. Whatever you're dealing with here, that's a key factor, is that this might change through different factors through time, and kind of being attuned and acknowledging that, very specific to your situation. So yeah, that was a wide open reading, general reading, so it will look different depending on how your situation falls into that guidance. If you have any questions, please put that in the comments below. I'd be happy to help. If you resonated with the reading, please hit the like, and I would love for you to subscribe and see you back here. I do regular guidance for students on your academic journey. Wishing you all the light in the world as you go through on this very riveting and interesting, unique path, it looks like. I'd love to see if as this develops, if you update me on what that actually looked like for you. I'd be so interested in it. And sending you, or hoping that you continue to work with love for the earth, for the animals, for yourself, and those around you as you continue on this journey. So I'll see you in the next time.